Aunt Patsy here with Sunflower Oils. How are y'all doing today? So, we are going to make my absolute favorite DIY that I have ever made with my essential oils. We are going to make face cleanser pads. They're great for taking off makeup, but even if you don't wear makeup, I have a friend of mine who doesn't usually wear makeup. She absolutely loves them also. So, jar. I like the 8-ounce straight-sided jars. It fits a good amount of pads in here without being too deep that it's hard to get them out. So I fill it with just cotton rounds. So it's ready to go. And we are going to start with Castile soap. And it takes 1/4 teaspoon. So it's almost easier to just kind of drop it, drop by drop in there, because 1/4 teaspoon is really small. I have made the recipe in larger amounts and put them in bigger jars. I didn't like it because it was hard to get them out of the jars. So I thought I was going to save time and effort about making them, and it really didn't work so well. Next, you want coconut oil. And my coconut oil is pretty much liquidy. It's not 100% liquid or it would be completely clear. I have this wonderful little super old Tupperware that's 4 teaspoons. This is the amount that I like the most. You don't have to have one of these to do it, but it just makes it really simple also. But I played with the amounts going from larger recipes and smaller recipes, and I like 4 teaspoons in there. That's my preference. There we go. Get all the goodness out of there. There we go. And mix that up just a little bit, just because. And then I put the essential oils in here, because then I think they mix in better with all of this stuff before we put in the distilled water. So we need 4 drops of our lavender. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 2 drops of frankincense. Both of these oils are great for the skin. Did I get 2? There, just in case. I wasn't sure if that actually made 2 in there. And I like to stir that up just a hair. Get all that essential oil mixed with all the good coconut oil. And then we need 1/2 cup of distilled water. You always want to use distilled because they have a lot less germ growth with distilled water. Of course, you're not really going to have any because of the oils anyway, but distilled just is free of any impurities. And then I stir that up. I have an extra cup here that I used for something else. I'm going to dump some of the cotton pads out because I think it works better to pour some in between the pads and then put more on top. So I'm not sure if you can see what I'm doing here. Let me put the lid on my coconut oil. I'm going to put this on top of there so you can see a little bit better of what I'm doing. So I'm stirring to make sure everything's good and mixed together, because we do have oil and water here that we're mixing. And that's all soaking down into those pads. And put a few more pads on top. On there, squishing it down, getting all that goodness all soaked up into the pads. A little bit more. I'm going to put some more in there. Whoops, got a cotton pad stuck on my spatula. There we go. In there with the rest of the little guys. Now, one thing I have found, because we're using coconut oil, during the winter, the coconut oil does have a tendency to get hard, like, because it's a true virgin coconut oil. It's solid at room temperatures. So during the winter, I will fill the sink with warm water to warm that coconut oil up. There we go. I think we can fit just a few more in there because I kind of squished it down. And sometimes I will have it so that I end up with more liquid in the bottom, and I just put a couple extra pads down there and soak it up and use those. So make sure you label, especially if you're gift giving. Wipe the bottle down cotton ball with rubbing alcohol to get all the stuff off the outside so your label sticks. That is face cleanser pads, my absolute favorite DIY I have ever made with my Young Living essential oils. Again, recipe: a 1/4 teaspoon Castile soap, 4 teaspoons of coconut oil, 1/2 cup of warm distilled water, 4 drops of lavender essential oil, and 2 drops of frankincense. Cotton pads, and you'll need an 8-ounce straight-sided glass jar. There are other ones like that are shorter and like square. They don't work near as well. You can't get as many pads in there, and it's the same size jar. So those are the jars I like the best. They're considered a jelly jar. That may help you find them. I've gotten them at Walmart. These actually are a little bit different. My sister found them at a, wasn't an Amish store. I don't know, I can't remember, but she found them for me, and they were way cheaper. Yay. Have a great day. This is Aunt Patsy saying that's all.